Gather around and grab the crew because today's 28 and 8 movie is going to be Posse. Posse is the 1993 film that is a Western that is actually set in 1898. It stars Mario Van Peebles as Jesse Lee, who is a Buffalo soldier in Cuba who, along with his riders, are sent on a suicide mission when they need to retrieve some gold during the Spanish-American War. Posse is the 1993 Western movie that is set in 1898, starring Mario Van Peebles as Jesse Lee, a Buffalo soldier in Cuba who, along with his riders, is sent on a suicide mission to retrieve gold during the Spanish-American War at the orders of one Colonel Graham. When Jesse finds out that the colonel is actually intending to kill them once they arrive to the gold shipment, he actually ends up, along with the others, killing the colonel and his men instead. After this, they sneak across the border back into New Orleans, and this is where they meet a gambler named Father Time, who is played by Big Daddy Kane. Father Time and Little Jay are caught gambling at a poker game, and this actually causes insane problems. They end up fleeing, but they are caught by Colonel Graham and his men, who they actually thought they had killed already in Cuba. I know, crazy. Now the posse escapes the colonel once again, and they wind up heading for an all-black town called Freemanville. And there they actually get to relax a little bit, take the pressure off, even though the colonel is on their tail. That is until trouble eventually finds them once again, and Jesse and Father Time have to pretend to be members of the KKK so that they can rescue the rest of the posse that have been captured and tortured. There's complete madness with backstabbing, double-crossing, and several shootouts that happen after this. The movie ends with a message saying that over 8,000 black cowboys have had their stories not told, and that is because of the whitewashing or erasure of them from history and Hollywood. One of the reasons to check out Posse is definitely the cast, because it is stacked with talent, including Sally Richardson, Tone Loc, Pam Grier, Blair Underwood, Tiny Lister, Nipsey Russell, Reginald VelJohnson, Faison Love, Vesta, and of course Big Daddy Kane. Posse is directed by Mario's father, Melvin Van Peebles, who is a legendary director who also directed New Jack City. He also makes a cameo in this film as Papa Joe. Posse is loosely based on the experiences of co-screenwriter Cy Richardson's grandfather. Also making a cameo in this movie is Reginald and Warrington Hudlin, better known as the Hudlin brothers, that they have done some incredible movies of their own in Hollywood. One thing about Posse is that it has some very hot and steamy love scenes between Mario Van Peebles and Sally Richardson. And these scenes were actually cut back significantly when the film was supposed to be released in Australia so that they could have a better, more favorable rating in the theaters. However, it didn't matter for the DVD versions or VHS versions, because the scenes were put back in and the rating was upticked because people could buy them on their own at that point. There's also a sequel to Posse called Los Locos, which actually came out in 1997 and stars Danny Trejo. You can watch Posse and Mario's fine self on Amazon Prime Video, Tubi, or Pluto TV for free, or you can always check it out on Apple TV for $3.99.
History, we was in there. Yeah, you better believe we was in there. Cause messing with the posse, you could sure be unforgiven. Wilder than the streets, yeah, that's how we livin'.